Shalom, shalom. Anak na waha ay boy sha Allah walakim la atam call shabawai ba kha wa kak shoya bashmal sha. Hey, with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Bashmal Shah, to preach you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, and Israelite foreigners repent ye for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Laim La, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Kha Kodash, Wa Mashanaka Badi Nukoim Na Wa Malakim Shosh, Allah Zakoim Kha Gadawal, Wa Khasa, Wa Shalawam, Wa Barakim La Bachaya Shah, Gawaii Shah Shalawam. Right, so all praise to the Most High Yahweh, which means He exists. Bahashim in the name Yahweh Shah, He delivers. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom, which means peace. All right, so I just want to go into a lesson on who ESaaw Edom is. All right, because I want to touch on ESaaw Edom as a whole, and then get into some topics on Amalek, or some statements on Amalek. You see, because this world likes to negate that Esau is still on the earth, walking the earth today, and that they feel like it's basically it's no more nations no more. Basically everybody's just one. But more specifically on ESaaw Edom, my first precept is going to be Barbara Ashiath, also Genesis chapter 25 and verse 25. All right, and it reads. It says, "And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Ishawah." All right, because you can go to this Hebrew, it says Esau, but in Hebrew it'll be Ishawah. All right. I'm read again. It says, "And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau." You see, and when you look at the so-called white man, you see his skin is not white. The term white didn't come up until like the 1600s back in Virginia, and then somewhere around that time you also had guys like Johann Blumenbach. All right, he came up with the race categorization thing. Before that, we was going off of tribes and our nationality. All right, but just going into Esau, his skin is red, and his blood shows forth through his skin. When he has that emotion, he turned real red. Hence the term. When you're referring to Esau that live out in the country, you call them rednecks. You see, cause they super red. All right, and this is the Volume chapter 58 and verse 2. It says, "Yeah, in heart ye work wickedness." I'm gonna start from verse 1. It says, "Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Ye in heart, ye work wickedness." All right, so the other nations, you see, they work wickedness. Starting with ESaaw Edom, spearheaded by Amalek. All right, on down to the rest of the heathen. You see, because Esau is the most wicked. You see, but the other heathen, they're wicked as well. They wasn't made to be the upright. Yasha Allah, He Prince Power. You see, the nation of Israel is the only upright ones. All right, with the elect being the upright on this side, you see, and then 2/3 in the kingdom. You see, but the nation of Israel was made to be upright. All right, it says, "Yea, weigh the violence of your hands in the earth." You see, and that's all the wicked do, chiefly Esau Edom. You see, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, so he has the power to do whatever. And we see what the results of that is. All right, you got faggotrism, you got death at an all-time high, you got pollutants in the air, pollutants in the food. Everything is just messed up. You see, the ozone is messed up. The animals are dying off. Trees, trees is what is meant for to help us breathe, but there's no more trees around. All right, the animals, they don't have homes anymore. That's why you see a lot of like whales beaching themselves, and animals like on highways and streets and stuff like that, because Esau is messing the world up. All right, It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Let's get that word for estranged. It says, Zawar, to be strange, be a stranger. Let me get it in the lexicon. Then number 3, it says, as opposed to that which is upright, true, and lawful. Strange is the same as unlawful or profane. And that's Esau Edom in a nutshell. You see, he's profane. He was made to be the wicked. You know, the Lord made him that way. All right. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb. You see, so they're wicked from the jump. It says they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. I'm gonna get that word for astray as well. It says wander of sin, wandering of mind, to perish, to wander, to err. So they going astray, they wandering off the path. They don't have a path to righteousness, you see, but their natural way is to go away from the path of righteousness. You see, the scriptures say that if he was to show the wicked righteousness, roughly paraphrasing, that he basically he wouldn't accept it, or he wouldn't be able to do it, because that's because he was made to be Mr. Can't get right. He ain't never gonna get right. You see, the Lord is gonna destroy him. All right. It says they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, and you see plenty of examples of that throughout history. You know, of them just speaking lies. The exception of America, Babylon the Great. You know, how this country was built. They say it wasn't off the backs of Jake's, but truly, indeed, it was. All right. Another lie that they tell is that they are the true people of the Lord. You see, and that's not the case. All right, and we're gonna get that, Lord's will. And also about the creation. You see, everything in this man's for the most part, in this man's history, his science, medical industry, it's a lot, pharmaceutical industry, and just everything about this man is a lie. You know. So the next precept is Malachi, also Malachi, which means my messenger. Chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, I'm starting from verse 2. It says, I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yea, say, wherein thou hast loved us. Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I love Jacob. The Lord has loved Jacob. Who you 12 tribes, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and Israelite foreigners. All right. The Lord has loved, he has loved us. We consist of the nation of Jacob, Yasha Allah. All right, Yaiquab. All right, the 12 tribes. You see? And the Lord, when we doing good by the Lord, you see, he shows the love for us, you know, and he has shown mercy to us by giving us his truth. Every Israelite is going to hear this word. You see, and that's the Lord lending out his hand to his people. All right, that's an act of love. And then even in the kingdom, you see, the elect is going to get that rest. All right, and then 2/3 gonna get that rest in the kingdom. You see, but you want to make it on the first go around, you know. But the whole nation of Israel is gonna get that rest in the kingdom, and that's how the Lord shows His love. And many other examples. It says, I hated Esau, and laid his mountains waste, and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but will return and build the desolate places. All right, and they went down in the Roman Empire, you see, but they came back, Rome 2.0, America, Babylon the Great. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, which they did, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. All right, and wherever these wicked motherfuckers live, it's called the border of wickedness because Edomites is there. You see, and you can always tell where Edomites are because of this precept right here. What is it? Bear with me. I'm going to show you in chapter 29 and verse 16. Proverbs 29:16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. All right. And when the wicked are multiplied, transgression in when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth. And we see that. All right. This man has did nothing but multiply himself upon the earth. And what do we see? Wickedness at an all-time high. All right. Nobody is everybody's mourning right now. Nobody is, satisfied. All right. He's created a society to where you want what your neighbor has. You're killing your brother. And he made this rat race society. You see, it's never an end to what they call life in America, Babylon the Great. All right. It says, and the various different other places that take on the spirit of Babylon the Great. All right, because you have Edomites and other different nations. It says, but the righteous shall see their fall, and we're seeing their fall. All right. We're going back. I'm going to finish it out. Verse 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. And indignation is righteous anger. You see, the Lord does not like Edomites. All right. So you're not going to be able to be saved. You're going to do your slavery, like the scriptures say, and you're going to be, your race is going to be killed off. All right. After 1,000 years of brutal slavery. All right. You so-called elites and you white people. So-called white people. This is Job 9:24. And when we say white people, it's not about the skin color. It's those that their line goes back to the nation of Edom. All right. And again, white is not it's not even a thing. All right. Edom, the scriptures say that basically Edom has descendants. You see, and the Lord does not he doesn't like the nation of Edom. We're gonna get that. All right. But let me get this first. This is Job chapter 9 verse 24. Also Job, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not where, and who is he? So the earth is given to the so-called white man. And we notice because specifically he's talking about Amalek, the 48ers, they spearhead ESaaw, Edom. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, who cover all the faces in a time period called iconoclasm. All right. It says, he covered the faces of the judges thereof, and the judges being chiefly the Most High Yahweh, his son Yahweh Shah, the angels, and the Israelites. You see, they made them all appear as so-called white people. When you go to, they had a picture by an artist in the Renaissance. I think it's called The Creation or something, when they're touching the finger. Those was, they made the Most High and Adam, they made them appear as Edomites. You see, when you go and look at, Yahweh Shah and the 12 disciples, they always appear as Edomites, So was the nation of Edom, the so-called white man. All right. It says, if not, where and who is he? So if it wasn't him, who would it be? All right. Because Esau is the only one that goes and does that. He does that. The scripture is getting to the judges, you see, but he also paints himself as the Egyptian. You see, he paints himself as Gad is an Israelite, but he also paints himself as Gad, and in various different other types of examples. All right, but just case in point, the judges is the Israelites, and that's who Esau tries to paint himself to be. You see, this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. And we got that Psalms 58. You see, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. You see, so he was made to not be right. The soul, I'm gonna read it again. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up, and it's lifted up. You see, because he's prideful. It's not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. All right, and the point I wanted to grab was the soul that's in Esau Edom is not right, man. You can tell a tree by their fruits, roughly paraphrasing, and you see that Esau Edom has wicked doings. You see that through his laws, his history, And just how he goes about his things day to day. Look at how he eat a steak. You see, he eat a steak damn near raw. You know, that's because he's a beast man. That's in his nature. All right, he's perverse to the scriptures. All right, let's get Hebrews. We can get Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 16. Hebrews 12 and 16 says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person. And profane goes back to being astray, or being that being estranged. All right, being that profane person, basically being opposite of being upright, as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. You see, showing you that he's a carnal person. You see, he was hungry, so he sold over the best birthright. You see, the best inheritance. All right, and he's carnal. It shows you that he doesn't have integrity. He wasn't made to have integrity. You know, this is Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red. And who was red? Let's go back to Baba Ashit, chapter 25 and verse 25. It says, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So Esau is that red horse referred to in Revelation 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace on the earth. Who did this? The so-called white man. You see, everything that he does is a death style, and he pushes nothing but destruction. There's no life in any of his societies. You see, if you look at the economy and how everything is set up in America, like I mentioned before, it's a rat race, man. It's never ending. You're always chasing a so-called bag. All right. It says that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Who was given that great sword? Let me see. We can go to Genesis. I think it's 36. So like, bear with me. Genesis 27 and verse 38. Because Esau was given that great sword. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. All right, and his habitation, he got all the abundance of the earth, and of the dew of the heaven from above. You see, so Esau has everything that he wants. Let me get a quick precept. This is the Holyam, chapter 73 and verse 7. Their eyes stand out with fatness because they have abundance. They got more than they need. It says they have more than the heart could wish. You see, and that's because the earth, going back to Yawab, Job chapter 9 and verse 24, the earth was given to the hand of the wicked, so they have the power over everything. You see, so when the Ish people say, oh well, we don't have power over everything, or you can't say that, or saying you're not you being an anti-Shum. You see, so like, yeah, saying that you're being an anti-Shum, nah, like you just telling the facts, because the earth was given to them. You see, and being that Amalek spearheads that, because the Thrues is Amalek. Amalek is the Thrues. You see, they got more than a heart could wish. All right, so the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. All right, and going back to Genesis 27, it says, verse 39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling, where he lives at, shall be the fatness of the earth. All right, so he got the abundance of the earth, all the good things of the earth. You see, that's why he lives in those delicacies, and he lives like he's like high and mighty, so to speak. And of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. All right, and the point I want to get out of this was, Esau's gonna live by the sword. And have we not seen that? You see, the sword basically being a killing instrument. You see, he's a man of the field, so he's very keen on tactics and environments, being outdoors and stuff like that. You see, so he has lived by the sword. I got something pulled up real fast, because being that he was gonna live by the sword. You see, he has knowledge on the sword, and being that it's a killing instrument, he's in the spirit of destruction. All right, and basically I have something pulled up. This is it says market share of the leading exporters of major weapons between 2017 and 2021 by country. It says the U.S. Edomites, Russia Edomites, France Edomites, China, that's Moabites. So far they in the top 3. This is a list out of 15. It says Germany Edomites, Italy, it's a lot of Jakes there, but they Edomites. That's 5. The UK 6, Spain 7, Israel 8, Netherlands 9, Sweden 10. That's 15. It says 15 entries in total. And one got to keep going. They already got majority of everybody that exports the major weapons. You see, we're not just making stuff up. You see, Esau, like, your track record shows for itself. You the top producer in major weapons. You see, those countries listed are ran by Edomites. All right, showing you that he was given that great sword, and he showed that great sword prior to this. He showed it in history, man. He slaughtered Gad. You see, he invented the things like the Gatling gun. All right, but just going back to Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4, it says, and there went out another horse that was red, Esau, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace in the earth, because the earth was given to the hand of the wicked, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. You see, so that's why this man, he was given the, he has the power of, he has the earth in his hands. You see, and he lives by that sword. All right. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 7. It reads, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. All right, and this is going to the Edomites, who the Lord is going to personally take him out of the way. All right, verse 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed, the so-called white man. You see, because before, everybody knew something was off about him, you see, but he's being revealed in his time. All right, and he's being even more, he's being exposed now. You see, so he's scurrying, you know. He has that nervous energy, and he ain't really doing stuff strategically anymore. You see, everybody is catching him in his tracks. All right. That's why I say that all that see him shall flee away. All right, because they see it. The men of the Lord, starting with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, have bringing out the word and exposing this man. You see, so that's why people are seeing this man and they don't want nothing to do with their plans. That NWO. What's a lot? Let me get that. But this is getting into Edomites, Psalm 64:8. It's getting into those of their nation, other Edomites coming out and spilling the beans. You see, but the men of the Lord are also first and foremost bringing out the word. You see, people don't want nothing to do with Esau anymore, you know. But it's going back. This is Genesis. Oh no. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 7. It says, or verse 8. And then that wicked shall be revealed, Esau, Edom, who the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And who is the Lord's mouthpiece? The prophets, the men of the Lord. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So the Lord's going to destroy this devil when he returns. So Mashiach Yahweh Shah. You see, and we know that because you go to Yeshaya, also Isaiah chapter 63. And it says, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat. And that is symbolic for how much blood is going to be on how much killing the Lord is going to do. You see, because the Lord is angry with the wicked every day. All right. It says he came from Basra, and that's the nation of Edom, so-called white people. All right. And the Lord didn't forget about Amalek either, you Edomites as well. It says, I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. You see, so the Lord got this day in his heart, and he's ready to snap you fucking devil's necks. You see? Let's go to Genesis. It's Genesis chapter 27 and verse 38. Oh, it's a lot. Already got that. Genesis chapter 36 and verse 8. It says, thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. You see, because they lived in mountains, caves, and places as such. You know, they never had a homeland. All right. Going down, it says, and the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, Kenaz, Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. All right, basically, the point I want to get out of that was Amalek does consist of. Actually, I get a precept. It's a precept that goes into saying Amalek is Esau's grandson, but yeah, Amalek is Esau, is of the nation of Edom. All right, you Khazarians, you 48ers, you don't get a special pass. You see, you're still Edomite, and the Lord still hates you. All right, this is Yeshaya, also Isaiah, chapter 34, and verse 5. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. All right, we just read in Isaiah 63 that the Lord, who is it that cometh from Edom? All right, Idumea is Edom, you so-called white people, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. It says, verse 6, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. You see, so you Idumeans is going to get judged, and all those that are attached to you Idumeans is going to get judged as well. All right. You got a couple more. This is the Hayim, also Psalms chapter 55 and verse 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. All right. And you got a lot of Jake that'll take on this spirit, but they truly get it from ESaaw Edom. All right, it says, his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. All right, and Esau speaks peace, you see, but truly he planned in war. If you look at how he did Gad and Ra'aban, which is Reuben, how he did Gad and Reuben, he came to them with the promise of peace, but he actually had war in his heart. All right, we seen that with his treaties with both of them. All right, he never kept his end of the bargain. For instance, let's see, Micah chapter 2 and verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And I'm applying this to ESaaw Edom. All right. Esau, he'll covet a field. He'll want a field and take it by violence because he has a great sword again. Remember, Esau has that great sword. You see, so he'll want lands and he'll go take them. You see, but just getting back to the point what he did with Gad and Reuben, he would tell Gad and Reuben that he was never gonna go past. I gotta pull it up right here. This is the proclamation. The proclamation of 1763 was issued by the British at the end of the French and Indian War to appease Native Americans by checking the encroachment of European settlers on their land. It created a boundary known as the Proclamation Lines, separating the British colonies on the Atlantic coast from the American Indian lands west of the Appalachians. In the centuries since the proclamation, it has become one of the cornerstones of Native American law in the United States and Canada. All right. So basically, they was saying like, hey, we're not gonna go past the Appalachian Mountains, but it's a whole country, and they did. You see, he never holds up his end of the bargain. All right, and that's how he speaks. He speaks peace. Oh no, we're not gonna take your land. You can have all that, blah blah blah. But truly, in the end, he coming for war. He got a sword behind his back. All right. This is 1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 2. 1 Samuel 15 and 2. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. All right, so the Lord hasn't forgot what Amalek did. You see, when we was traveling, you see Amalek killed those that were weaker, the women, children, and elderly. He killed them. You see, the Lord ain't forget about that. All right. And being that the Lord didn't forget about it, they're going to have to pay for that. It's Quahalath, also Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 15. It says, that which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath been done. So like that, and that which is to be hath already been, and the Most High requireth that which is past. So the Lord requires an account. The Lord requires you to come to your trial, Esau. You see, because you ain't answered up for them crimes. You still living lavishly. You living good. You eating the best that you got on this earth. The lobsters, even though that's a base ass animal, has a purpose, but it cleans the ocean, so it wouldn't. It's unlawful. You see, but Esau puts it as a delicacy. You know, so in his world, you know, he's eating lavishly, and to everybody else, he's eating lavishly. You see, so he's living it up. You know, but you gonna come on trial, and you gonna be guilty. You see, and you gonna get that judgment. A lot of you is gonna get slaughtered, and you know you going into slavery, boy. You see, you going into slavery, and you're gonna be wiped out. All right. This is Shamwath chapter 17 and verse 13. Also Exodus. Exodus 17 and 13 says, and Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Yep. So he slaughtered them. It says, and the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. So the Lord is going to wipe them out. All right. After their slavery. And Mashah built an altar and called the name of it Yahweh Nas. I'm gonna go into it. It says Yahweh Nasayah, Yahweh Nasayah, which means Yahweh is my banner. All right, it says, for he said, behold, the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. All right, and that's why you go to, since their inception of what they call Israel, what the 48s will call the nation of Israel. You know, they're not a true people, but since they've been in inception in May 1948, if you look at November 19th, hold on. If you look at they wars, they basically been at war since they've been a country. 1948, 1950s to 60s, 56, 67, 67 to 70, 73, 71, 82, 82, 85 to 2000, 87 to 90. And these overlap right here. So they've been at war since they've been a so-called nation. And that's a part of the reason why they got a mandatory draft for like 2 years or something like that, and they always need help. All right. They always in a war, man. Had a precept, but it slipped my mind. But says 2008, 2009, 2012. Oh, when the true people was in power, they say that we wasn't gonna learn war again. You see? See if I can grab that. This is Yeshaya chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, and many, I'm sorry, from verse 3. I'm sorry, verse 2, it says, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, being the governments, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. We not flowing to them over there. And it says, the house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all the nations shall flow into it. That's not happening with Amalek right now, man. You Khazars. And many shall go and say, and this is referring to the kingdom, and many people shall go and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge many among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nations shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. It says, that was the point. And the true people, let's get into the kingdom, man. That's not happening right now. You see, so that if we're not in the kingdom, then that means that they are imposters, because it said that when the true people was in their homeland, this will be going on. So they're imposters. All right. And also it said that the Lord will place us into our land. We're still not placed in our land. We are the true people. We're the true people. So that means they have to be imposters, because they don't fit the description. All right. It's like, they're like, just giving that example, it was a 6'5" so-called black male. You know, he had on black Air Force Ones. You see, ESaaw don't fit the description, man. But you fit all the descriptions for the nerdy so-called white male in the corner. You know, ain't nobody thinking that, oh, he's causing all the issues. Him. You see? But my next precept was Shamwath Exodus chapter 4. And verse 4 says, and the Lord said unto Moses, put forth thine hand and take it by the tail, and he put forth his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand, that they may believe that the Lord God of your fathers Abraham, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob hath appeared unto thee. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. And he said, put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. So this is proving that Moses, he had dark skin. You see, because you can't put your hand into your bosom and then take it out if you already got the pigment of a Edomite. It ain't gonna turn back to the pigment of Edom. That wouldn't make sense. All right. So just want to bring this out because that would prove that Amalek is not the people. You see, and they only got one tribe. You know, it's not all about the color, so to speak. All right, because you gotta judge the spirit by the spirit, you know. But this is proving that the nation of Yasha'Allah, Israel, has dark skin. All right, and it's all throughout the scriptures. All right, and for the most part, when you look over there with Amalek, they just have a whole bunch of pale face Edomites, and it's some Jake amongst them, you see, but they like to paint it as if that the Lord, because they put the image of the Lord as if he's an Edomite, you see, and that's off. You see, the Lord is a dark-skinned man, and he will be a so-called Negro if he was on earth today, you know. All right, and this is the Devarim, also Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 46, because again, this is another cut to you Amalekites, you Khazarians. All right, this also shows that you're not the people, because again, you don't fit the description, and that description being the curses. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 46. It says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. All right. And being that you can't see these curses on the Amalekites or the nation of Edom, you know they're not the true people of the Lord. All right, the true people of the Lord will be going through straits, distresses, and difficulties. You don't see that with so-called white people. Going back to the Hoyam Psalms, chapter 73 and verse 7, they living good. They're not in trouble as other men. All right, as the other verses would say, they comfortable. You see, you go into their neighborhoods, they got they blinds up, or their what you call it? Yeah, the window shades. They got those up. You know, they can sleep outside if they wanted to. You can't do that in Jake neighborhoods because of the curses, man. And that shows who is the people of the Lord. You see, so hey, Lord's will that was edifying. A double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. Hey, much respect to you, brothers out there pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Hey, may Yahweh Shem Yahushua Shalak Barakim La call Akim Wa Akwath. All right. May the Lord send blessings to all sisters and brothers, or all brothers and sisters. All right, but Lord's will that was edifying. Hey, Shalom.